It seems the video game drought is finally ending, and we got lots of release dates. Let's talk. What up, viewers? What up? What up? Calx Hoops here, and today is Friday, August 16th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. Like I said, games are starting to release again, and I've got a lot of release dates to run through, so let's jump right in. The review embargo for Black Myth Wukong, everyone's favorite upcoming Souls-like game, although I think it's probably maybe more a little bit like a Ninja Gaiden-like. Anyway, it's been at the top of the Steam charts for quite some time, and the review embargo is lifted, so we're starting to see what critics think about it. It is currently at an 82 Metacritic, which is pretty good. A new innovative, innovation in the Souls-like genre. I know a lot of people have been excited for it just based solely on how it looks, especially with like a low heads-up display kind of stuff that they've been showing off in some of their material. Read a lot about how it's new and highly anticipated, and it's got some good boss design. So for all you Souls-like or Ninja Gaiden fans out there, I think this is going to be a great game, but it doesn't release until the 19th, so not for another few days. But yeah, the review embargo is lifted, so we can talk about it, and very excited to see what's coming on with that. Moving right along, Blizzard seems to be taking the same approach as they do with Overwatch characters for their latest expansion. The World of Warcraft expansion, The War Within, I believe is the name of the expansion, has a new kind of 5-minute short film where they talks about a whole new character and some people that you're going to interact with in The War Within. So yeah, I just kind of really enjoy the art style of it. Kind of wets people's palate for, I think, something that people have been asking for quite some time. A nice like World of Warcraft animated show or something full length. So yeah, I would be very excited to see more, and the art style was very impressive and something I could get behind. It has a very much an anime feel, which I think is by design, but yeah, looking forward to potentially seeing more, even if I'm not involved in or interested very much in jumping in on the latest World of Warcraft expansion. Just watching World of Warcraft animated shorts would be pretty cool, so excited to see that. Speaking of RPGs, Dragon Age Veilguard has finally started talking about when it's going to be releasing. The release date for that is Halloween, so it's on 10/31. So we have a few short months before it starts to before it comes out, and they're already starting to talk about the romance options. I'm very curious, as it has pretty big shoes to fill on how it will compare to Baldur's Gate 3, which was phenomenal and a little over a year ago. So yeah, very excited to see kind of what they do and what innovations they make. I know the combat's going to be a lot different as it is between like a Dragon Age and like a Baldur's Gate game. But yeah, very excited to see if there's any learnings that they could have done, in the year since the game came out, since it's been in early access for a while. But they also talked about pre-orders. Pre-orders are now live for the game. It will be a $70 launch title. They have like a $90 deluxe edition, and then they have a $220 collector's edition, which comes with like a sword that lights up, which seems pretty cool. It also comes with like a potion flask. I'm not even the biggest Dragon Age fan, but I am a pretty big collector's edition guy. And they actually are selling I believe GameStop is selling the collector's edition just by itself. So without actually the game attached to it, if you wanted, you could just buy all the stuff that's in the collector's edition and then buy your own digital version of the game. Which I think is actually really smart. This helps prevent, especially on like the developer or publisher side, really helps prevent like SKU proliferation and having to order a certain amount of collector's edition with each different SKU attached. So I think it's actually a pretty cool idea that you can just buy the stuff in the collector's edition and then buy the digital game. I don't think I think if you do get the like $220 digital or collector's edition, I don't remember if I saw like you get a steel case or something like that, or if it's just all completely digital and they're just giving you a lot of other stuff. So yeah, very cool and very excited to kind of see this out, and I'm curious whether or not I should pick up the pre-order on that, since I am a big fan of collector's editions. Elder Scrolls is returning to a mobile phone near you, as there's a new mobile game coming out for Elder Scrolls. As they talked about in the kind of 5 minute trailer that I watched for it, it is very much like Fallout Shelter. You get you're the ruler of like a castle. I think it's even called like Elder Scrolls Castles or something like that. You're the ruler of a castle, and you have to determine, you have to make decrees, and that's going to make people mad or excited by your decision making. You also just kind of build out your big old castle, and there's a lot of different customization, which actually has like implementation. Like if you put a tree in this room, then it's going to get a bonus to something or other. As someone who played a lot of Fallout Shelter, I am excited to kind of see how they kind of iterate on top of that and do it within a fantasy setting. So as I've been trying to like figure out whether or not I want to like open up another Fallout Shelter on my iPad or something, but yeah, I just don't have time for mobile games right now. But I am excited for to see a little bit more about how they can expand on the Fallout Shelter formula within Elder Scrolls. So looking forward to that. Sounds like Remedy is hard at work on their next couple of games. They made an announcement this week that Control 2 has passed a significant milestone, which I'm curious kind of what I know of like the creative journey throughout, production cycles and all that kind of stuff, what a significant milestone is and whether or not they would already have like a vertical slice since it is a sequel, stuff like that. So I am very curious what a significant milestone is, especially for a game that is kind of in this pre-production phase, and maybe they've started to establish what the new feature set will be and how it'll be different than the first game. So yeah, excited to see what they're doing with Control 2. But it does sound like they are ramping up production for the Max Payne remasters, Max Payne 1 and 2 remasters first. Those are in full production. So once we see those, then maybe we start to think about when is Control 2 coming out. So I think we still have to wait a little bit longer before we hear anything or we have anything, solid on Control 2. But looking forward to that and whatever Remedy is working on next. Sounds like most of Tango Gameworks has been saved. There was an article this week talking about how Krafton, the company behind PUBG and Callisto Protocol, swooped in to save, it sounds like about half of the workforce at Tango Gameworks. So, as we discussed a couple months ago, Microsoft let go of Tango Gameworks, the company behind Hi-Fi Rush, which was an award-winning game, and it sold lots of units. So it was really surprising that Microsoft was choosing to let them go. And I was kind of waiting for somebody to swoop in there and pick them up. I know a lot of companies like to do that. Typically you can get things for cheaper when they shutter a company. You can kind of swoop in and get a lot of their assets. Like a lot of the people that worked on it for a little bit less than they were getting paid before. So not necessarily that's what's doing here, but Krafton seems to have swooped in and saved about 50% of the workforce that was working at Tango Gameworks, according to the article I was reading. So yeah, excited to see more stuff coming out of the Tango Gameworks now. Whatever they were working on, whether it was tied to a Microsoft IP or not, they can kind of pick up and run with, and maybe Krafton's got a cool idea that they could do with this kind of smaller indie team. So yeah, excited to see that that didn't completely go to the ashes, to the trash heap, that some part of Tango Gameworks continues to live on under the Krafton umbrella. So excited to see that. Legend of Zelda fans rejoice. I didn't even know that there was a manga, but apparently there is, and there's a there's a collection of all of the 5 or so different mangas, all in one big kind of collection that I saw and I wanted to pick up this week. Like I said, didn't even know that there was a manga, but I can pick up all of them for $50. Or there's like an $80 edition that comes with like a special little chest, so you can keep all your manga in there. So big fan of Zelda, huge fan. So excited to see that I can get caught up on all of these kind of this manga collection all in one place. So I might actually chip in a little bit more for that $80 chest, so I can just put a chest on my comic book section of my bookshelf over there, and just kind of keep track of them and enjoy my way through a Zelda manga, which like I said, didn't know existed. So excited to see that. So I'll have a link down below for you to check that out. It's on Amazon for $50 or $80. The Humble Monthly Choice bundle is here. So for just $12 this month, you can pick up, I think, like a dozen games. and it's got some pretty big names on it. You got Sifu on there, the kind of fighting recursive fighter game that you have to play through. You've got High on Life, which was a Game Pass title, but if you didn't pick it up on Game Pass, you could definitely pick it up on PC through the Humble Choice Monthly. They also have Gotham Knights, so I still think that Gotham Knights is a fun game to pick up with a couple players. Even if there's not like a big community around it right now, or never was, it'd be exciting to kind of hop in and just pick a different character of the Bat family and play through and punch your way around Gotham City. So yeah, those are all seem like pretty fun games that are pretty big hits in this month's Humble Monthly Choice. So looking forward to that. Speaking of games coming out, there is a game that I think I heard whispers of a while ago, but it finally has a release date. The Plucky Squire, which I think is an Xbox title, and it is very Zelda-like. Like I said, I hadn't seen much about it. I just kind of heard whispers about it in the background, so I don't even remember what their last marketing beat was, but people have been pretty excited to hear about this one, and it's got a release date of September 17th. So yeah, the Plucky Squire, and from what I saw of like the trailer, it really seems like a love letter to like the Zelda games. It does like the 2D thing, it does the 3D thing to kind of really encapsulate all of this kind of RPG fantasy that people, or action adventure fantasy that people kind of know and love from the Zelda series. So if you're looking for a cool Zelda-like, the Plucky Squire is coming out in a little bit over a month. And last but not least, the top Steam charts for cozy games. So let me add that little modifier in there. Tiny Glade is the castle builder that I've been talking about for a while. It's a very chill, vibes only kind of castle building game. And it's just, a really cool, cozy game that's been coming out for quite some time. It finally has a confirmed release date of just a week later after the Plucky Squire of 9/23. So September 23rd, we can play. You can relax and just build up your castle and don't even know what the driving force is, but I just want to design a castle with some vibes in the background. So yeah, looking forward to Tiny Glade when it comes out in 5 or 6 weeks. But that's it for this week. Let me know if you feel I forgot anything down below in the comments. But as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this content. Any form of engagement is great. And sorry I took a week off, but had a bachelor party I had to go to. So, excited to be back and get these rolling. And finally excited that, like I said at the beginning, that this kind of gaming drought that we've been seeing, which is pretty typical for a summertime, but I think has been excruciatingly exacerbated by all the studio closures and stuff like that. So finally excited to see some games popping up on my slate. So excited to see that. But as always, thanks for watching. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend, and I hope you have a super day. Bye.